This is one of the Tribe tutorials. Danielle is one of my favorite models for this particular service, but I've used her for quite a few things. So you'll see her on the Tribe multiple times. This particular client for Blowvember, but really any month of the year, they're all over your city. They're in every city, in every country, no matter where you are servicing. If you service this type of client that's relaxer free, they're going to be curling most of the time is what I'm finding. Danielle in particular, she's a newborn, she's a new wife, new mom, and she's a teacher. So she's quite busy, so she doesn't get a silk press a lot. But when she does, maybe for a special occasion, for an event, she wants to go ahead and get things straightened out. So I'm using the Sabella products. Of course, you use any products that are best for you, but I like to choose something that is hydrating. Remember to choose products that are not like the products that we used once before, that are like relaxer type products. Remember when we were doing chemical relaxers with sodium hydroxide, with lithium hydroxide, guanidine hydroxide, we were taking out a lot of the hydration, a lot of the moisture, a lot of the, the ability for the hair to keep moisture in the hair. So we had to keep adding in moisture. So although those products were good products that we used in the late 90s, early 2000s, they were too heavy for what we wanted for a blowout. So I'm going in with a lightweight shampoo, a detox shampoo, maybe 2 of those, maybe 3, depending on Danielle in particular. She uses a lot of the creams and oils, inside of her hair, so we want to make sure that we get all of that off. So you make the determination whether you need it to be 2 shampoos or 3. Then I'm going in with a conditioner. Be careful not to get it all the way to the roots. You can get close, but don't get it all the way to the scalp because, of course, any conditioner, even this one that's super lightweight, can weigh things down. I'm going in with a leave-in conditioner, and really not very many more products after this. This is a liquid-based leave-in conditioner, leave-on. Again, it does not have to be the Sabella product line. That's the line that I love and enjoy right now. But this line is one that I think really speaks to being lightweight, but very hydrating, right? So now we're going in and we are parting, right? So we want to keep a lot of the moisture in the hair. Years ago, when I started to do silk press and blowout, I was under the belief that we were to put them under the dryer and take all of the moisture away. But you see, it says towel dry to 75, and swelling is actually hair that is void of moisture, not oil and creams and gels only. Those are great products, but true moisture is a hair having its own moisture level or water inside of the shaft, right? So we're taking that and diffusing that H2O inside, right? Notice my body position in the position of my hands with both the dryer and the brush. I'm keeping that dryer north and south. This is very, very important. And again, you can watch this full tutorial where I give a different kind of commentary, but I really want to think in particular for those that are going after Blowvember this month. When you're using that blow dry, keep it north-south. Remember that the actual shaft, right, or the actual follicles of the hair, they're going down on the hair shaft. So if we blow at the hair from the right or at the hair going to the left, we're going to swell that hair and get that frizz, versus we're trying to close the cuticle down, right? Close the follicle down. So I'm going north-south, not really moving the needle, the needle nose of that blow dryer. Now I'm using this vent brush. Some people like 9 rows, some people like different kinds of brushes. I like a flat brush with this motion, just kind of flipping back and forth. Notice the elongation, shrinkage will definitely fool you. So I'm going in and you can tell how that maybe 3 inches spreads out to a good 10 inches, if not 11 inches, and it's super lightweight. And I have not placed anything else on the hair, right? Sometimes you can use a little bit of serum, less than a dime, most times emulsifies to enough that you would need, but actually great steam treatments with your conditioner, a great shampoo that detoxifies, and that moisture shampoo being the third one, leaving behind the moisture, and the leave-in conditioner is typically all that you need most times. So I'm going in now again and taking fairly big sections. You notice there's very little to no smoke coming from the hair. Smoke appears from evaporated vapors with too many products layered on top of the hair. So if you see smoke, I used to think that that was normal. There's a level of some evaporation of the water that dissipates and goes away. But if you have lingering smoke, there's too much product that was left from the shampoo and conditioner. There's too much product that we're adding on the hair at at the station. Now I'm using the Ionic blow dryer. This is from Coco Pro. Again, you can use any product line or any tool. Same motion here, guys. Coming on the left side of her hair. Again, keeping the blow dryer in my hand. Quite frankly, I don't really take or turn the blow dryer off once I turn it on, right? I'm stopping right here to make a point how lightweight the hair is, but this is a way for you to get through the service. I think it should be about 10, maybe 15 minutes between shampoo and condition and steam, another 30 minutes for your blow dry, even with length, and then another 15 minutes between curl, silk, and curl. Silking and curling should not be the thing that takes the longest. I think the 30 minutes in an hour service should be that blow dry. So now you see we're about halfway done right there. You can see that the mission, in my opinion, and I'm leaving that second side curly to make a point, the mission is for us to be able to just one pass with the iron, right? And it should be flat and silked out even before you put the heat on it. Here is the secret sauce, in my opinion. Wanting the silk press, although that's the terminology, and I didn't use silk press in my salon, I used the word blowout. Not that silk press is wrong, but sometimes the word silk can give you the impression that the tool that makes all of the difference is the flat iron, when in actuality, to me, I think it's the blow dryer. I think if we press from really, really curly hair or really, really swollen hair, it might silk out, but it's not gonna stay in that silkening state the entire time that she would want it, a week, week and a half, sometimes even 2 weeks, still reverting back and giving her curl. So the trick is to not just blow it till it's dry, but to continue to blow dry it until it's smooth. Silking the hair with one pass with the curling iron, guys, going north to south. To me, continually having to silk the hair 4, 5, 6 times means we didn't do a good enough job, if that's the right term, with the blow dry. All right, so you can see the difference. Remember, the hair on the right, that is just blow dried. The hair on the left is blow dried and silk. One pass, and then we're on to the next section. This, to me, is a way to just speed through. And this is why I think that after the 30-minute blow dry, 15-minute prep, it should take about 15 minutes to go through the hair and to silk and to curl, in my opinion. And this is how you can get this silk press or this blowout in 60 minutes, maybe a little bit over, but an hour and a half and 2 hours and longer than that, I hear sometimes, I think is a little bit excessive. It's enough for you to tackle most lengths, and we could just work on our time to get faster. Again, going in, silkening from the root, one pass is all it should take, and we should be able to move on to the next section. All right, now look at the difference here. I did this for, drama purposes, but you can see the curliness of her hair, and you can see the silkening of her hair, and see the difference. Again, she wears it curly most times, but I'm letting you know this doesn't take a whole bunch of elbow grease. It's more about the technique of detangling, the technique at the bowl, the technique of the blow dryer, having a little fun here, showing you the movement and how light the hair is. Sometimes the hair can be silk, super shiny, but heavy because too much product is being used. The trick, guys, I think, is in the blow dry. Hair that moves is some of the best marketing that you can have potential clients to see your clients in public. A lot of us, everybody's not happy with social media and going online and do social media every day. Everybody's not going to start a YouTube channel, but if that's the case, even though I suggest it, I tell you that hair that makes people say, wow, is really some of the best marketing that you could have. So if you're going to rely on skill set alone and not do traditional online or offline marketing, you got to do some kick-ass hair that stops traffic. And I think you can really get that with the silk press. It's such a beautiful service to kind of show like the movement and the bounce and cut. Of course, we love curls as well, but silk press is one of those key services that people can come to that door and fill up your chair. All right, so we're making the sides match. I wouldn't traditionally, of course, press one side and then press another, but I wanted to show that difference, or that kind of before and after of the silkening and the curl. So going in again very quickly, one pass. The trick is in the blow dryer. Thin sections. Let the sections be where you could read a newspaper through them, right? Thick, too thick sections. Yes, you'll press, but you'll find yourself having to go 3, 4, 5 times. It should be thin enough that you could read a book or read a page from a newspaper through the section. So that gives you an idea, not inches or 1/8 of an inch or 1/16. It should be thin enough that you could read through it. And to me, even though it may be more sections, it's quicker because it's just one pass and we can move on. Make sure that we're taking the curling iron and we're getting close to that hairline, even if we got to go from the typical horizontal press to go to a vertical press, grabbing those roots around the hairline, because we're trying to give the illusion like she got a relaxer. This is a client that for years got a relaxer and then they went natural. And I think that the Blowout or the SILKPRESS is just a new roller set. There's definitely women that want to be curly all year long and they identify as a curly natural. But there's some, like my wife, like friends of mine, that they want their hair to be straight or have the same movement and look of a roller set. They just don't want a relaxer. And to me, this client is less about a natural client and it's more like an unrelaxed client. I have a video years ago, maybe about 10 years ago on YouTube, where I was doing my wife, and I don't even think she was my wife at the time, I think she was my girlfriend, where she was that. She was one of the reluctant clients. Here's the video right here, putting it on the screen. Go back and watch it, guys. She was very reluctant to actually become, typically relaxer free because she liked her hair straight. She liked roller set. She liked it natural. But she didn't want the relaxer any longer. So she was hesitant. So that's what we were transitioned back in, I think, 2010. I'm not sure the date on that video. But you got a lot of clients that think that way. We're not really here to judge unless you're just somebody that does not do straight naturals. I wasn't that. I had a blowout bar. So although I did curly sets and flat twist and flexi rods, I serviced a lot of women that just wanted the same look and type of service that they got with a roller set, but they wanted it on unrelaxed hair. So I think that there are thousands, if not millions, of women that are unrelaxed, and they could be your client versus the girl or the client or the woman that wants to just do natural looks, if that makes any sense. So that's like a third category I think you should consider. A lot of people I'm using right here, your round curling iron. I think this is by Golden Hot, guys, if you want to know the curling iron. H2 Pro, Babyliss, Golden Hot, they all have ceramic irons that go up to 450. If you notice, I'm curling it like I would a roller set, giving a little height, holding it a little bit, the same way you would put that tension on the base. We're still doing the same techniques that we did even from cosmetology school. And then I'm letting that hold for a little bit to keep that form. And then I'm letting that drop to give this kind of roller set feel. I love when I see stylists use a flat iron to create the curls. That was never something that I did. I like the roundness. Again, I did a ton of roller sets. I'm a little bit older. So I love the round iron. I can do it with the flat iron. So nobody's wrong. And here I'm just doing a throwback, guys, just doing like a roller wrap. I did the same idea. I curl the hair in a round motion and then I'm wrapping it seemingly like we did roller wraps years ago. Again, guys, I'm 46. So I was doing hair before we were natural. We were doing relaxers. So it was a lot of red rollers, a lot of green, yellow rollers. And this look, we made a ton of money. And this client still exists. Her daughter is still out there. This client that wants that same feeling, she just wants it without a relaxer, is out there to build an incredible clientele on. And that's what Blowvember's all about, is to find her with that promotion by doing that service over and over and over again each and every day. Wrapping up the video here, putting on a shower cap. Some people use saran wrap. Some people use a lot of different things, but I found that just a shower cap can give me that same feeling of keeping that hair, seemingly using her hair like one big roller, and then putting her under some heat to try to congeal that all together. We put a nice little lip on her, change the outfit, and she walks out with this look. Guys, this client, this is a $80, $85, $100 service from start to finish. Trimming up the ends, I did not show that, but typically we'll go in there and maybe just refresh the ends. Deep condition. This look is all over your city, all over the world, quite frankly. build this as a service, use this tutorial over and over and over again. Again, joining the Tribe membership, this and many tutorials are available on the membership. If you enjoyed me doing this commentary, or you like the way that video looks, or that looks like your clientele and your professional hairstylist, look in the description of this video and check out the features and benefits of my Tribe membership. Check it out. See if it's something that could benefit your salon brand and your business. And if you decide to join, it's just $17 a month. You can pay with your credit card, your debit card, or with PayPal. Welcome to the Tribe in advance. For all of my Tribe members that are out there that are following here, you already know how we get down. Gang, gang, we appreciate you.